You're listening to TRAXXfm's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at TRAXXfm Official.
Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful Tuesday, and it's feel great to be back on air again and to meet everyone after a long break. Merry Christmas once again. And you are now watching Spectrum on Trax Momentum, watching and listening, that is. You can watch us live via our official YouTube channel at TRAXXfm RTM, or also listen to the show. That's what you're doing right now on TRAXXfm. And today on Spectrum, we're going to speak about a topic that has recently come out to the limelight, which is a condition that is as real as depression. And we're talking about digital depression, a new form of anxiety that is plaguing kids in the adolescents as well, the youths, due to things like cyberbullying that can lead on to so many other long-lasting implications. And to shed some light on this and to give us a perspective and a better understanding to enhance our knowledge on this, I have on the phone lines our special guest, Elangkoven Nair Narayanan, and he's the project director of the Reboot campaign. Elango, good morning and welcome to Spectrum.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Anil, and hello to all the listeners out there.
All right.
So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Elangkoven Nair Narayanan from University of Science Malaysia, and I am the project director of Reboot campaign.
Okay, now let's jump in straight into the topic that we're discussing about today, which is digital depression. Now, to most of us, these are two separate words, digital and depression. But perhaps today, even as for me, it's the first time I'm ever coming across a new term probably has been coined as digital depression. So give us an explanation on what is exactly digital depression all about, Elango?
Okay, first of all, digital depression is a new age depression among young adults and teenagers. So in short, digital depression is a negative impact of digital technologies, particularly excessive use of digital devices, social media or online activities that can result in unintended risks such as fear of missing out and unrealistic beauty standards, which can be fundamental to users' depressive symptoms, especially among young people.
And why do you think, Elango, this has to be highlighted for our understanding?
Sure. Obviously, before proceeding to this campaign, we have done some research. So according to research conducted by National Health and Mobility Survey Malaysia in 2019, there are 5.5 million teenagers, or in that 1 in 5 young individuals experience depression, while in that category, 1 in 10 teenagers was recorded to be under emotional stress related to their social media activities. So because of this, as more and more individuals are experiencing symptoms of depression, anxiety, and other mental health disorders, it has become crucial to address this issue. So that's why we final year students from School of Communication proceed to conduct a campaign related to digital depression issue.
Okay. So perhaps if someone is listening to the show right now and they're trying to put their finger on to see if there could be showing signs of suffering from digital depression, give us some of the symptoms, the early signs that someone is actually prone or getting into that rabbit hole of suffering from digital depression, Elango.
Okay, Mr. Anil. So there are a lot of symptoms related to digital depression, but on our context, based on data collected by our community members in our pre-campaign survey, we found out that the majority of respondents agreed that FOMO, which is known as fear of missing out. And UBS, unrealistic beauty standards, are the primary causes leading to digital depression.
Okay, so fear of missing out and unrealistic beauty standards.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the influence that some of the social media filters are actually putting on people, right?
Yes, exactly.
Give us give us some context into the UBS. How dangerous it's been and how detrimental has it been for people. UBS actually refers to beauty standards that are unrealistic or generally impossible to attain by most of the individuals. Yes.
These standards are often portrayed by the media, the beauty industry, especially in Malaysian context. The media means our Malaysians are more exposed to K-pop.
Okay.
So beauty industry and popular culture. So they set unreasonable views of ideal or desired physical beauty, such as body shape, skin color, facial features, and body size, which often become the unrealistic beauty standards.
Okay. So that's unrealistic beauty standards. Yeah, everyone aspires to look like their favorite K-pop star, but I think in true essence, we need to be comfortable under our own skin and, just be happy with what God's been blessed us with, right?
Yes, exactly, Daniel. Because beauty is subjective.
Yeah.
Everyone is beauty in their own way. And most of them has a stigma that UBS is only related to girl, but it also affects boy as well.
It's plaguing men as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, beauty is subjective. Everyone is beauty in their own way.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Elango. So now that we understood what digital depression is and some of the symptoms, we'll go in for a quick break. And then when we come back, we shall shine the spotlight on the Reboot campaign that you're spearheading right here on Spectrum, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm speaking right now to Elangkoven Narayanan. He's the project director of the Reboot campaign. And today on Spectrum, we're speaking about digital depression. Keep it right here. We'll be back after a short break.
Every Tuesday,
we have this segment, Spectrum.
That's how esports really...
We want people to be exposed to what the current labour market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
Catch Spectrum on TRAXXfm, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
Youth, arts, and culture. That is the genre that we always talk about here on Spectrum. I'm your host, Anil, on the mic. And on the phone lines with us today, I have Elangkoven Narayanan. He's the project director of the Reboot campaign. And today, Elango is speaking to us about digital depression, which is as real as depression itself. Elango, welcome back to Spectrum.
Yes, Mr. Anil.
All right. Now, let's start talking about the Reboot campaign. Now, I know the reboot in its actual essence in terms is to reboot a machine. So is it a metaphorical term for us to reboot our digital habits, so to speak?
Yes, exactly. You got it right, Mr. Anil.
Yeah.
So that's our metaphor element, actually. It's like we are encouraging people to reboot their social media, excessive use of social media and digital technology usage.
And why do you think that the issue of digital depression is the primary focus in this Reboot campaign and not other aspects?
Yes, okay. First, can you repeat the question, Mr. Anil?
Why is this issue of digital depression or rather I should say, why is this Reboot campaign centered around digital depression?
Oh, okay. The problem of digital depression is a new issue that not everyone is aware about it. So particularly among youth and teenagers, this issue is more related to among youth and teenagers. So based on our studies, these groups are among the most active and exposed to digital devices, such as smartphones, online games, and etc. So they tend to spend extended periods on the internet, scrolling TikTok for 24 hours, for almost 24/7. So the activity of social media browsing has the potential to influence the thoughts or shape of the ideologies of individuals. So in fact, they all fancy and unrealistically happy portrayals of life have unknowingly set a standard that pressures people to live up to it. Right. So as a result, this has indirectly created pressure on the individuals or a certain person to meet those standards.
So correct me if I'm wrong. What I understand from this Reboot campaign, it's sort of like a boot camp for a flash boot camp to help people have a digital detox, to detox themselves from all your digital habits and their digital impulses. Is that pretty much what it is all about?
Yeah, we are creating awareness on, it's like technically it's a digital detox, okay. But in short, we have 4 key messages to convey.
Okay.
So one of the key messages will be to recognize the signs and symptoms of digital depression. So as I said earlier, most of them are not aware about signs and symptoms of digital depression. So the second one will be to promote balanced digital devices and social media usage. We are not encouraging them to stop the usage because it's impossible to stop the usage of social media and digital technology. We are asking them to use it wisely and balancedly.
Okay. So now, Elango, that we have understood the signs of someone experiencing digital depression, what are some recommended methods that you are trying to propagate via the Reboot campaign to help individuals who are affected by digital depression, Elango?
Okay, Mr. Anil. So, we Reboot campaign offers various steps to promote healthy digital habits and responsible use of technology. So, firstly, it's important to set limits on our screen time. So, managing digital device time properly and taking regular breaks from technology can help us to reduce our stress and mental fatigue. So, apart from that, exercising physically and engaging in outdoor activities also can lessen the negative effects on excessive use of digital technology.
Okay.
Yes. We also believe that building social support and communicating directly with our family or our close friends are crucial to address the feelings of loneliness and isolation that may arise due to excessive use of digital technology.
I think that's the pressing question right now, is that we are completely inseparable with our mobile phones, our devices.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a piece of us when we walk out of our homes and we start driving and then we realize, oh my God, I missed my phone. It's like a crucial piece of you. It's like it's like embedded in our system. We can't go anywhere without it. And and now it's become so detrimental for our well-being as well. Any techniques or any methods that you can suggest or recommend, Elango, that you've been speaking of through this Reboot campaign for us to, not to be too worried about, missing our mobile phone or setting it aside?
Okay, sir. So, Mr. Anil. So, first of all, as I said earlier, it's impossible to not use our digital technology or smartphones. But it's important to set the limit. As I said earlier, we should. Nowadays, every phone has we can track our screen time.
Yes.
So it's encourageable to use our social media just for 2 hours per day. And to set limit. So we have to set a certain limit. That apart from that, we need to communicate more in person to our family members, to our friends, to encourage open conversation. So open conversations also is one of the methods that can be used to overcome this digital depression issue.
Yeah, I completely, totally agree with you on that, because just a couple of weeks ago I was talking about this on radio. I quoted an article by a Harvard professor who specializes in happiness. I can't really get his name, it's not popping up. But what he spoke of is that he said, if you want to have a much more happier and fulfilled life, limit your screen time on social media to just an hour a day maybe. And that hour doesn't necessarily have to be a complete hour, which means from the first minute all the way up to 60th minute. You can sporadically, pace it, or you can split it throughout the day. And to have a much more fulfilled life, as you said, Elango, have much more meaningful social connections with human beings, right?
Yes.
And it's and it's a pity that sometimes when you see families sitting, congregating together over a dinner table, everybody's busy on their mobile phones. Conversations have become a thing of the past, right?
There is a new term called antisocial. People nowadays are antisocial.
Antisocial. Yeah. They're much more socially inclined to their mobile devices. That's your best friend now.
Exactly. So apart from that, there are also a lot of stigma surrounding this digital depression. So most of them are afraid to open up that they are facing this problem, like they have fear of missing out. A lot of them they're afraid to open up about this issue. So we from Reboot campaign are encouraging open conversations. Just open up. So we have our partners and we have our official main collaborator for our campaign, which is our big friend NGO in Penang. So we are willing to give support to them by encourage open conversations and give them counseling and all.
Okay, great. When we come back, Elango, we'll go in for a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the research and findings that you've discovered via this Reboot campaign here on Spectrum. All right, just we'll jump in for a quick break, Elango.
Okay, sure.
All right, I'm now speaking to Elangkoven Nair Narayanan. He's the project director of the Reboot campaign. And today we're speaking about digital depression. Keep it right here on Spectrum at Trax Momentum. We'll be right back.
Every Tuesday,
We have this segment, Spectrum.
That's how esports really...
Yes, we want people to be exposed to what the current labor market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
catch Spectrum on TRAXXfm, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Spectrum on Tracks Momentum. I'm your host, Anil, on the mic, live and direct from studio number 5 here in Radio Television Malaysia, Angkasa Puri. And on the phone lines with us today, I have Elangkoven Nair Narayanan. He's the project director of the Reboot campaign. And today we're speaking about digital depression. Elango, welcome back to Spectrum, my man.
Yes, Mr. Anil, I'm here. Happy to share about the insights on digital depression.
Happy to hear your thoughts as well. Now, let's talk about the research and also the findings that you've obtained through the Reboot campaign. I'm sure, the whole idea, the initiative to start this must have stemmed from some very important findings that you would have come across. And, those findings could have been alarming, and which has moved you, intrigued you to do something to help the youths and the adolescents and the adults out there. So share with us some of the findings that you've come across, that you've included in the Reboot campaign.
Actually, nowadays a lot of findings are coming out on about fear of missing out and UBS, unrealistic beauty standard. But this one is quite interesting. According to a study conducted by World Health Organization in 2020, nearly 40% of women in many countries such as China, Malaysia, Philippines and South Korea frequently use skin whitening products due to influence of social media and filter culture. So what we do mean by filter culture is, as Mr. Anil said earlier, people nowadays, especially our generation, love to use filter. When they are posting their real image, they are not confident to post that on social media. But when there is a filter, they are confident, they are happy about themselves. So that's the time when they are posting their pictures on social media.
Now, just to touch on one thing, Elango, I feel that you will be able to shed some light on this. I want to talk about cyberbullying, where, I think the entire pressure of trying to look just like their favorite, celebrities is, stems from the fear of being judged on how people look. And then, you get all these nasty comments on people passing remarks about the way a person looks, which is completely unacceptable.
Exactly.
How do you think one can keep themselves safe or not be affected by cyberbullying?
Okay, first of all, the cyberbullying is related to fear of missing out as well.
Right.
Because when, for example, myself, I would like to be I am inspired by Tom Cruise, so I want to make my dressing sense as Tom Cruise. But when I post it on social media, definitely a lot of them will be commenting that you are looking like like beep. So they will do that kind of thing. So what we have to do is we have to gather self-confidence among ourselves. Self-confidence is key to overcome cyberbullying. People will keep on commenting, but we need to believe in ourselves, and to overcome this problem, self-belief and self-awareness is very important to overcome cyberbullying in social media. Especially nowadays, social media becoming the netizens are becoming so. We are they are becoming more toxic. It's like toxic on social media.
It's toxic.
There are a lot of toxic elements in social media.
Yeah, that's a very key, important word you mentioned, toxicity. There's positivity on social media, and there's also toxicity. We just need to keep ourselves away from the toxicity. And you spoke about getting help, going out there and being confident. Confidence is something that's, again, subjective. Some people have it innately. They can find it in them. But some people just need some help. So where can the public and our listeners go out and seek some additional help via the Reboot campaign? Any contact details, email addresses? Give us the nitty-gritties of that.
Sure. Obviously, we have our social media account. So you can find us in reboot.usm. I repeat, reboot.usm. Reboot.usm on Instagram and TikTok. And apart from that, people also can find us on Facebook, Reboot USM. So we'll be constantly sharing insight about digital depression, FOMO, and UBS on our social media.
Okay, so it's reboot.usm, yeah?
Yeah, reboot.usm.
And just a candid question, Elango, have you had any conversations with people who are suffering from digital depression? Have you spoken to them?
Okay. So since we're doing campaign, we'll be engaging in road tours.
Okay.
So we went to 5 schools across in Penang. So usually our target audience is students around 13 to 17 years old, students from high school students.
Okay.
So we did conduct an activity called Voice of Jar, where students will write their feelings anonymously and put it on a jar.
Okay.
When we read it out about that, I feel surprised that a 15-year-old student said that his life was miserable ever since he joined high school because of fear of missing out. He said he don't have a lot of friends, he don't have any social media accounts, so that his friends tend to bully him. So he even
just because he doesn't have a social media account.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And a 15-year-old boy has suicidal thoughts within him because of this.
My goodness.
Yes. Actually, we from Reboot team also was surprised with that response.
Okay. So I think it's just it just goes to show that it is a very real problem, and kids need to be told. The youths, the teenagers need to be enlightened, and they need to be made to understand that it's okay not to have a social media account. And it seems like the pressure.
Yes.
Okay. And any final words before I let you go for Spectrum today, Elango?
Yes, obviously. So we would like to encourage everyone to follow our social media account. So by as I said earlier, so reboot.usm on Instagram, TikTok, and reboot.usm on Facebook.
Okay. So reboot.usm, yeah.
Yes. So apart from that, I have a final advice.
Sure.
So do remember, everyone plays a vital role in creating a healthier and digital environment. So for everyone eager to stay updated on Reboot campaign, as I said earlier, you guys can follow us on Reboot on our Instagram account reboot.usm and on our Facebook account reboot.usm.
Okay. Elangkoven and Nair, thank you so much for enhancing our understanding on this new thing that we've been introduced to today on Spectrum, digital depression. And you shared some very important insights that we had just completely no clue about. And I think from now on, everyone will be out there propagating on the importance of, keeping out and having a digital detox, and that it's fine for kids not to have a social media account. And, it's even plaguing some of them to be suicidal. And that's really sad to hear that. And we need to go out there and start educating them. Thank you, Elangkoven. You have a wonderful day today. All right?
Thank you for having us, Mr. Anil. I'm so glad that TRAXXfm invited us to their session.
The pleasure is ours. Have a great day. Happy New Year to you as well in advance.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, and that was Elangkoven, Nair, Narayanan, and we had a very interesting conversation into a very new spectrum, I should say, of a topic, which is digital depression. Sad to know that it's actually something that is plaguing, I should say. Lots of times I use that word because it's real. It's as real as depression. It's as real as any other disease. And to know that kids are suffering out there on their own. And it has to come to a point where they have to declare what's going through in their minds anonymously. Goes to show that we need to have some harder and much more intimate, deeper conversations with our children to find out what's bugging them, what's really stopping them from moving on in life. So go out there. If you have a teenager in your life, a youth that you know, speak to them and tell them that it's absolutely okay just to detox and to keep away from social media, because there's a life out there waiting for them that is much more meaningful than just simply scrolling up or scrolling down. This is TRAXXfm's Spectrum on Trax Momentum.
You're listening to TRAXXfm's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at TRAXXfm Official.